If you're looking for a compact vehicle that feels much more premium than the mainstream brands hatchbacks, this may be the stronger case against spending luxury money to get all this power and all this premiumness. Welcome to Side Roads Auto. I'm Carlos, and this is a 2026 Mazda 3 Hatchback Turbo. The Mazda 3 Hatchback comes with this premium exterior design that has been aging pretty well. But in a compact vehicle, especially hatchback, and this one with premium aspirations, the interior experience is really important. So let's take a look. Well, in my humble opinion, the interior experience on the Mazda 3 Hatchback Turbo is great. There is something to be said about this minimalistic design and the current market, 100%. But this car still, it feels so premium that there are many others that cannot compare with this. So the materials are all soft and high quality and very well put together, including in the doors. The support points are one of the softest and more comfortable I ever experienced. There are two memory seats for two different drivers, and all windows are one touch up and down. The seats I find really comfortable. They are firm, but comfortable, at least for my body. And I have been driving this in a few trips, so I have no complaints. They are comfortable. And in this red leather, they look so beautiful, and there is perforation in the middle, and I really like the design in general of the seats. Really nice. Same here in the dashboard, that they included the leather in this portion here with red stitching. It looks so premium and expensive, and everything is soft. It's just next level. I also have the horizontal design, but the most important part to me is the ergonomics here. Like, I fit here perfectly. It feels like the whole car design is based and centered on me and the driver, and that is really nice and really cool. Enhances experience while driving. The steering wheel comes wrapped in leather and is heated because we are in the top trim. And then we have a regular gauge cluster with analog instruments there, except for the middle, that there is a little screen there that of course is digital, and you can change some of the information, and the messages from the car come from there. So a little bit of the two worlds. I love the design and the position of all the gadgets and everything. Granted, in the mainstream and in the luxury segment, they are now full digital screens and all that, for sure. But I would like to believe that there is plenty of people that will prefer the setup, better than all those a little bit more intimidating full screen type of vehicles. We'll see. Then we have a 10.25 inches infotainment screen here. It's touch only with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto that is included, and wireless, and it's controlled by this rotary knob. The system is typical for Mazda, at least until now. It's very easy to use. You get used to pretty easy here, and there are shortcuts here and a volume knob. It's colored, and the response is nice too. Again, you can touch it while using Apple CarPlay. Also comes with Alexa integration, which helps you control some of the functions of the car. That is cool. The 360 camera is really good, especially have like a wide angle. So if you are backing up from your driveway, for example, you can see a lot what is coming on your sides, especially kids. So I find that really safe and good. The air conditioning controls are here, are all physical buttons. There is two zones climate control here, and they're pretty straightforward. The seats are heated, and the steering wheel is heated too. In this top trim, we have a wireless charger, two cup holders, a regular shifter, the knob that I was talking about, and the center console is on the small side. I would say there is a little bit of shiny surface here. This is not piano black. There is like a pattern under, but these scratches and get full of dust, so that is a high traffic area. With time, this will not be fully ideal. And then the glove box is pretty big, I would say, for the class. We have a regular sunroof here. For this year, Mazda added SOS calling in case of an emergency, and I have an anti-theft system to the mirror is frameless. I fit behind myself based on my driving position. It's tight for me back there. My knees are clear, but it's tight, and I have clearance for my height too, also tight. There is a armrest with 2 cup holders. I find the seats comfortable, and they can be folded 40-60. The trunk is not the biggest on the market either, but it's practical enough, and the advantage of this hatchback and any hatchback is that you can fold the seats and then you increase your cargo area in a significant way. So, you have seen my videos of the Mazda 3. This is the same. I love this black and red combination. Adds up to the sportiness of this vehicle. It is minimalistic, but it's very well designed, has been survived the test of time, and everything feels premium in here. The Mazda 3 Hatchback Turbo comes with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine that produces 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque using premium fuel. If you go for regular fuel, you will get 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, still pretty good numbers. The engine comes paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission, and all Mazda 3s with a turbo engine come standard all-wheel drive. Fuel efficiency for the 3 Hatchback Turbo is 10.1 liters per 100 kilometers city, 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers highway, which is 23 mpg city and 31 mpg highway. Let's talk about price. The Mazda 3 Hatchback Turbo is a top-of-the-line both in Canada and the US. So in Canada, the price starts around the 41,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, it starts around the 38,000. No, that's not cheap, but you get each single dollar back for what you get from this car. The Mazda 3 Turbo competes in the compact hatchback segment, really only against the Volkswagen Golf GTI because of the power mostly, right? And if you can see there, they are pretty close. However, the Mazda 3 has an advantage in power and torque. But because it's so premium and the powertrain is so competitive, I also wanted to show the Mazda 3 against the Germans, like the Audi A3, the BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe, and the Mercedes-Benz CLA. And if you can see, the Mazda also takes them in power and torque. Yes, the price is not too far, but remember, luxury brands start on a point, and then you have to add packages and options to get to the level of equipment that this Mazda 3 already has, and you will be paying more money for it. So at this point, if you like the price and you like the position of the Mazda 3 in any of those markets, let's see how it drives. So driving the Mazda 3 Hatchback Turbo is just great. We had driven for the channel already the Mazda 3 with the turbo engine on the sedan form a couple of times. And then we recently had the Mazda 3 Hatchback with the manual transmission, which was just fantastic. And I'm coming to the conclusion that the Mazda 3 may be the best Mazda of the whole lineup. It was conceived in this Mazda going up market strategy, and everything here was well thought out and seriously thinking that they could do this, and they did. Like, this is an incredible car. I am in love with this, and by the way, if I ever get a Mazda 3, I will get exactly this one on this color with the red interior. It's just so stunning. So let's start with the suspension. The suspension is on the firm side. You have to be plenty aware of that. It's not uncomfortable. In the highway, it's really comfortable. In the city, you know, it's firm. It bounces around a little bit here and there, so you really need to factor that in your decision making. I like it. I think it makes it sporty and planted and connected to the road, but not for everyone. I'm thinking, I never driven a GTI, but I'm thinking that will be a similar case there. This is an European suspension tuning, I will call it. And honestly, I think this car was conceived to go right after the Germans, so the compact cars. I really like it. I think it's fine. The other thing that the suspension does really quite well is not transferring the imperfections from the road to the cabin. It feels solid and well built, and there is no vibrations of any kind in this cabin. Again, one of the best, if not the best, Mazda product in my opinion. So great there, if you like firm suspensions. Then we have the steering. The steering is also, I wouldn't say in the middle. I think it's more heavy than soft, which I also really like. And it makes the car is quick enough and direct enough. There is something on center here. I noticed this in the manual too, that it takes a bit to finally move the wheels if you are in the highway or on center there, but it doesn't bother me. It makes it easier to drive for most people, I think. I like it. Ratio is not as short, but it's good enough. And this car corners really, really well, and I think the steering is part of that formula, and I think the how firm it is also makes you feel a little bit more connected with the wheels and adds to the sportiness of the vehicle. So it's fine. It's not your softest compact car, and you need to be aware of that. The good news is there are plenty of models and options, not necessarily hatchbacks, but there are enough, and you can find the one that fits you. Although, remember, this is a GT Turbo, so this is really targeting or competing, as we saw, with pretty much the GTI. So if you compare apples to apples, that's the only one. If you take the turbo engine down, then there are more hatchbacks, and then you take the sedan, pues there are a few sedans too. So it's like a 3 different targets and levels of marketing and competitors that you can put the 3 against, including the Germans and the premium brands, which is, to me, is the most incredible thing about this car. So the brakes are fine. I think that the brakes in the Mazda 3 are a little bit long. I don't know if that is the right word to use here, but you press them and then you have to increase your force on the brake to the brakes to finally start working on to make it the distance that you thought that with a lighter push you could get. It's something that you can get used to in a day, I'm sure, but I'm jumping from car to car, including mine, so that's why I'm mentioning, because I notice it, but it's not a deal breaker and it's nothing bad. You just have to press hard, and to a certain level that's also good, because then you know when you really need to brake or not, and you are also more engaged. The car is not doing it all for you. So I like that. It's just that observation right there. The transmission is a 6-speed automatic transmission, and plenty of people has complained about this transmission, and especially because today you can find mostly 7, 8, 9, 10 speed transmissions, which I'm not fan of. I will go as far as 8 speed, nothing more than that. But there is a thing here. I find it quick enough, and it's really smooth shifting if you are not pushing the car too hard. If you put it in a sport mode, it's like really fast. The acceleration, the not really fast, but faster, quicker, and it's like more connected. It's like ready there to give you everything that you want out of the car. And in non-sport mode, which is the only mode that we have here, then it's just a relaxing transmission, I would say. The great part though is that because this car is so torquey, that the transmission doesn't really have to work that hard, because it doesn't need to downshift all the time, because the torque does most of the work. And that is really great, because the car feels extremely peppy, extremely powerful. Move the car with no issue, passing or changing speed. In fact, you have to constantly in this car check your speed. You have a heads-up display here that helps with that, because the car takes off and is so smooth in general. It's a smooth operator, this car. So with that amount of power, we will get to the power in a second. So let me finish this. I like the transmission. I have no issues with it. You also have paddle shifters here that you can engage the transmission and help you, to do your thing if you want to drive that way. The seats I find really comfortable too. They are firm, so try that down. But to me, they are fine, and I have taken a few trips here and there, and I find them comfortable, and they are kind of perfect for my body, which is also the ergonomics here and the sitting position and the way that this dashboard and this interior is designed. It's like it's for you. It's like the car is all about you and you are all about the car. It's so good. Again, this car was created in a very focused way. They knew what they wanted and they did it really good. The visibility is okay. The windshield I find fine. The windows or the belt here, the belt line is a little bit high, so the windows are a little bit small. It's fine for me. The mirrors I like. I see everything, and they are the perfect size for this mirror. You have blind spot monitor there. The back, the mirrors on the second row are small, and then they shape up, so you lose a little bit of the window at the end there, and the C-pillar, ABC pillar is massive, which is part of the controversial design of this vehicle. I love it, but in some angles I get it, and some people have said that they don't like it. I really like it, and I like that it's special and unique and super close to the concept that they showed back then when they launched this generation of Mazda 3. So I really like it, but that's the price that you pay there is huge. You have in this GT trim a really nice 360 camera and your blind spot monitors that I just mentioned there. The back window is on the smaller side too. I have headrest there, but I still have full visibility, so no complaints there. Smaller, but still safe enough, and you still have enough visibility. Then we have the engine. The engine, which part of the star of this car. I think this car is a star by the combination of several elements. I find, of course, it's a lot of power here. I will almost say you don't need that much power on this car. I have driven the Mazda 3 with the regular engine, the 2.5 without the turbo. It's around 190, 187 or 86, something like that, depending on the model year. I used to have one Mazda 3 like this hatchback, the previous generation, and I always found that power and that engine was plenty, plus that engine is a little bit above the class, so that's good, and the size of the car and everything. In this application, we have the 2.5 turbo, and it produces 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot of power for this car, especially a lot of torque. So you will never be looking for more power here, and the delivery of the power is so smooth and luxurious, I would say. They were not trying to make a hot hatch here. I think they were trying to replicate what the Germans give to you as a whole experience. It's a very premium, almost luxury feeling vehicle, and the powertrain helps with that. The other thing that it does, it comes with all-wheel drive. You can have that all-wheel drive option on the regular engine as well, but in here adds weight to the car, which is very needed because it's a lot of power to put down, and the weight makes the car even to feel more solid and more planted and more, logically created and conceived to the fact that we have all this power, but also you have some mechanical elements there that will help you with driving this car and making a balance between the weight and the power and all that. Otherwise, it would have been too light, in my humble opinion. Also, because it's all-wheel drive, which gives you peace of mind, and the Mazda active all-wheel drive system is really good. So not only you have all this power, you have the extra assurance of the all-wheel drive. You can have this car on the northern states or in Canada because of the winter. It's just a great combination, a great powertrain, a great, product in general. This is just so good. So I am a Mazda fan, and you know that by now. And I love this car, and I will get this car, no issue. I have to recommend you this car. But as I was mentioning before, so it competes against the GTI in price. This has a lot of more power and torque, not a lot, but it's up in power and torque. And then when you put it against the Germans, yes, it's true. You won't get. First of all, I don't think anybody shopping for a Mercedes CLA or a Audi A3 or a BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe will be cross-shopping with a Mazda 3. I don't think by nature that will happen. Unless you are really, really in a budget or really young. But that's not the point. The point is, this car can compete with those cars head-to-head. It maybe be better than some of those. I have driven the CLA and it's great, but I find this driving and this experience overall with the Mazda 3 much more premium and nicer, and it feels more expensive. Yes, the Germans will give you screens and colors and ambient lighting and all this stuff, which is cool and it's nice now, but they are charging you for that mostly. The powertrain here is better than theirs. So depending on what is important to you, this is simple for sure. They could use a digital gauge cluster or some updates here and there. I like what I have here very, very much. If you are into screens and all that what the Germans are there, and I don't think it's the same market, but the fact that you can get a Mazda for a less money and having a powertrain that is equal or better or much better depending on the case, to me justify this case and makes total sense and tells you what Mazda is capable of doing for a lot less money. So kudos to Mazda. And if you are in the market for a compact vehicle and you want power and you want refinement and you want premiumness and you don't want to break the bank and you don't care about flashy brands, then please get a Mazda 3 Hatchback GT Turbo or just Turbo, because you won't believe what this car is all about. Test drive it and you can come back and tell me what do you think.